Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope that you had a great weekend. This is Miguel Ramos, your host over here for our empowerment moment or moment of empowerment. Amen. I hope that you had an awesome Memorial Day weekend. You know, it was an awesome time. There's nothing like being refreshed and just rejuvenate yourself by hanging out with your friends and family, right? Honor all veterans, everybody, you know, who gave their lives, you know, for us to be here in this country. Honor them, and I thank God for each and every one of them. But, you know, it's just such an awesome thing to be able to enjoy, yes, what somebody else sacrificed for, but, you know, that's just what leaders do. And that's exactly what I want to speak to you all about, leadership. So if you're just joining us, welcome to our moment of empowerment. I am your host, Miguel Ramos, your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your transformational trainer. It's just an awesome thing. So I want to get right down to this because, you know, I promised you guys something last week. I said, you know, we're going to talk about something very important, very dear to me, something big. And that something big and very important to me is leadership development. Oh, man, I love leadership development. You know, I believe myself to be a leader. I love being around other leaders as well. I love developing leaders, you know, even if it's just one or another. I don't believe in training. I believe training is systematic, but I believe in development. I don't believe in a monologue, but I believe in dialogue, getting, you know, one-on-one. You know, my system is not a cookie cutter system. It's a system, you know, that it benefits and fits who you are. We custom make it just for who you are. So I want to give you throughout this week, just little glimpses of what I do, how I develop leadership, you know, how I come and I extract the leadership from within. I believe that in every follower, there is a leader hidden within. And, you know, it takes, I want to say, a special eloquence really to extract it out. So I want to speak to you today about just that. If you're having problem, you know, if you're getting stuck, if you're at a stage where you want to develop and empower that leader within and you don't know how, listen, allow me to help you today. So today I'm going to give you my five personal, what I like to say, the fundamentals 5 of leadership. My 5 fundamentals of leadership. Fundamental F's is what I call them. So I want to go through these very quickly that I can empower you and help you out, because believe it or not, leadership is something that is within. It's something that you have to develop. You have to believe within you. Sometimes there's so many people that are leaders and don't know it within themselves, and it's something that has to be developed. You could go to leadership training class, you could go to train here, train there, but it's something, believe it or not, that has to be developed. Every leader is unique within themselves. Yes, they may hire you for a certain position, but what they're hiring you for is what you're bringing to the table. And if you're trying to cookie cut it, if you're trying to systematize it, it's not gonna work. So you have to develop who you are. Listen, as a leader, I am aloof, I am systematic, I am regimented, I am happy, I am joyous, I am me, I am, you know, who development. I'm all these things, but I bring this uniqueness to whatever forum that I'm added to, whether it's business, whether it's ministry, whether it's relationship, whatever it is, I bring this unique eloquence about it. And that's what's so awesome about leadership, that it is you. It is not a replica. Nobody can be the best you but you. You cannot be a cheap copy of a great original. You have to be you. And it's so awesome to develop who you are. It took me a while to get out of my shell, to understand that I was good enough. That I did not need to be the next, you know, this person or the next that person. That I could be me, and nobody can do me like me. And that's what's so awesome about leadership development, that you get to discover this beautiful, this unique, this awesome person, which is you. So let me help you extract, or let me help you start or commence to extract that person within you. All right. So again, here are my 5 fundamental F's for leadership development. My 5 fundamental F's, right? Everybody looks at the F as a failing, but listen, it's not. You know, there's so many great words that start with F. So I want to go by them, and I want to, you know, explain them to you one by one. So the 5 fundamental F's. Number 1 is faith. Number 2 is family. Number 3, friends. And number 4, future. And number 5, fun. Right? So we got faith, family, friends, future, and fun. And I'm going to break these down little by little. The first one, every leader should have, listen, it doesn't matter whether you are religious or whether you're not. It doesn't matter whether you believe in one thing or you believe in another. But this is something that everybody must have, and that is faith. And I'm going to let you know why. Because, see, the Christian Bible defines faith as the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Now, what that translates to, my friend, is something that's very simple. And the simple thing that it translates to is that faith is seeing what others can't see. So every leader must have a vision. Every leader must see something that nobody else can see, a way out, a strategy, a point of escape, a point of profitability, a way of success. What others don't see, every leader must see. I don't care if you are best as frying chicken. Listen, use that to get yourself out of a hole. Whether you can blow balloons and put them into animals, you are a leader at that. So anything that you can see that can help you, that can marginalize who you are and help you be thrusted to the next level, you're seeing you have an exit strategy. And that's what faith comes into place. You have to believe it before it actually transpire. You have to have a vision of it. People are going to tell you, well, I don't see it quite like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you explain it to me a little bit further? And that's what leaders do. Leaders see things that nobody else can see. For example, I look at Thomas Jefferson, right? All the great inventions that he created. If anybody would have told him, listen, you're crazy for putting light inside a glass casing, rounded glass casing called a light bulb, you know, he would have been discouraged, but he believed something. He continued to pursue it, right? So many great inventors, so many great leaders, so many great, I want to say founding fathers who gave the first step. And if it wasn't for their faith, if it wasn't for what they believed in, we would not be here today. So as a leader, you have to find what you have faith in. Right? What is your vision? What is it that you're looking at? Don't let nobody deter your vision. You know, the reason we have two eyes is because if one goes blind, listen, you can still see with the other one, right? Protect your vision. I don't care if you're working right now and you feel like that's a dead-end job. Protect that vision. Every day when you come home, listen, make a vision board. Make a progress chart, whatever it is, and continue to encourage yourself. I remember when I first purchased my home, and, I told my wife, I was so excited. I said, we're going to remodel this room. We're going to remodel that room. We're going to remodel. And throughout my first remodeling, I became very encouraged because it was a lot of work. And I was like, I don't have the time for this. It wasn't coming out the way I wanted. People will see it and they'll say, oh, that's so awesome. But, to me, it wasn't perfect the way I wanted to. So what I started doing was I started putting up these pictures. I cut out magazines and I put these glamorous pictures in every room as to how I wanted that room to look. So every time when I would go to that room and let's say I would sit down and watch TV, I didn't feel like doing anything, I would stay looking at that picture, and honest to God, that picture was looking right back at me. And I said, you know what, I can't rest. I got up, I got my hammer, got my tool belt, boom, 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 and I started remodeling. I started fixing things little by little, and today my house is what I want it to be. It fits me, it fits my family. Why? Because I did not give up on a vision. So you have to have faith. It tells us also in the Bible that without faith, it's impossible to please God. So watch this. If God requires faith for his thoughts, his plans for you to come and become manifested and unravel, what makes you think you don't need faith in the world? You need faith, my friends. People are going to tell you you can't do this. People are going to tell you the loan is denied. People are going to tell you that's too big. That's too, you can't do it like that. But you need faith to keep your vision alive, right? So that's the number one fundamental F of leadership is faith. The second one is family. Oh, family. Listen, whether you're married or whether you're single, whether you're living with your parents, whether you have kids and you don't have anybody else or whatever it is, or you just living with your cousin, your grandma, whatever. Listen, leadership starts at the family. So I encourage you to practice your leadership with your family. Practice your integrity, practice your character, practice your discipline, practice your obedience, practice your servitude, practice your gentleness. If you're a man, your gentlemanness or whatever, I don't know if that's a word, but I just said it out of my mouth, right? Your ladylikeness, all these things, practice with your family. As a matter of fact, the Bible, the Bible classifies and qualifies all kinds of leaders based on how they behave in the house. You don't believe me? Check it out. In 1 Timothy, chapter 3, it tells us, when we evaluate leaders, elders, when we evaluate deacons, it tells us to look at the home. It says, let's look at the husband and see if he's a man of one wife, right? That signifies commitment. It says, let's see how he governs or they or she governs themselves over their children, how the children, we always evaluate leadership based on family. Family is a great way to practice your leadership, your integrity, your obedience, your servitude, right? You're a servant leader. You want to practice those things with family. God has given you a family because, believe it or not, it's almost like the forefront of what it is that you're developing. Everything that you have, your family will test you. Yes, they will. Your family will test you. But what's good about family? That they always will be there, and you can try again, and you can ask for forgiveness until you get this thing right. So use your family, I didn't mean to say it like that, but be developed by your family that they can help you be thrusted to the next level of leadership, right? So that's the second fundamental F of leadership. The third one, my friends, is friends. Now, this is what I love about friends, right? While family is doing leadership in private, friends is doing leadership in public. Right? So let's say you're an acrobat, right? And you're in the trapeze, right? And you're, going, flipping and all that stuff. And you're practicing and you have that safety net on the bottom, right? That's family. Family is that safety net in the bottom. So if you mess up, you can always come back and say, you know what, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It wasn't very leader-like of me. Let's try to get it. Okay, family forgive you. Friends, listen, if you have that good friend, that good friendship, hold on to it. But friends are not that forgiving, So it's almost like I say, is doing leadership in public because you get to practice what you learn at home in public with total strangers, with people who are you becoming friends with, or people who you have had a friendship with, who may not know you as family knows you. So this is where with friendship, you get to build something that we call integrity. Family, sometimes they say, well, that's Miguel. Yeah, we know him. He's all right. That's Miguel. But friends will vouch for you. If your integrity is great, friends will vouch for you. Have you ever noticed that Jesus got away from hanging around with his family and he started looking for friends, Peter, James, and John, right? He started looking for people outside his circle that they can validate his ministry, validate his integrity, validate his servanthood. And you need to build friendship. Friendship also helps you build network, So that therefore, when people need something, or when you're in business, when you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, people can network. People can say, oh yeah, Miguel, I know him. Yeah, he's an awesome leader. Oh, he's an awesome servant. Yes, he'll do this, he'll do that. And then you start networking and your integrity starts growing and your character precedes you. And therefore people can say, well, you know what? You are a great leader, not because of what you say of yourself, but what others say of you. So you're actually developing a rapport, almost like a resume with your friends, right? So be careful. That's what they always tell us, be careful who you hang around with, because believe it or not, it is a type of resume towards your leadership, your character, your integrity. So whoever you will hang around with, that says a lot about you. So be careful who you choose as friends, but also practice your leadership with your friends. Take initiative. Don't be the second one to say. If somebody's suggesting something, I don't care if it's something as small as, where we're going to eat, what are we doing today? Are we going to the club? Are we going to the museum? Are we going to the library? Listen, take that initiative. Be the leader. I believe myself to be a leader amongst my friends. I believe myself to be a leader amongst my family. And I believe myself to be a leader everywhere I go. Why? Because I've developed this leadership within myself that I don't want to be second best. Don't get me wrong. I don't come off as a know-it-all, but I'm always open and I'm always looking for an exit strategy. If there's a problem, of course, I let the higher leaders tackle it first. But if there is a suggestion or an open statement there, listen, I raise my hand. I say, why don't we do X, Y, and Z? Because remember, you're always a leader. No matter where you're at, you're always a leader. Awesome. Great. So we have faith, family, friends. Number 4. Number 4 is awesome. I believe that every leader should look not from where they came, but for where they're going. So number 4 is future. Future. You have to always look at the future. As human beings, we tend to look at the past because of hurt, pain, situation, experience, and we evaluate our future with our past. In other words, I have this exercise where, I show a person, to put their hand out, and then, I kind of slap it, and then I tell them again, put your hand out again. And before I go like this, they pull it back. And I say, why do you pull it back? They said, because you hit me. I said, well, what makes you think I'm going to hit you again? The gesture. The gesture. So we tend to evaluate the gesture of our destiny based on what the past has done. And every hand that comes to your life doesn't necessarily mean to hit you, but it can incubate you, it can protect you, it can receive you, whatever it is. So you cannot evaluate the future based on your past. So you have to always have a futuristic look. What does that mean? Always look for the future. Always plan ahead. Always be, aware of what may or may not happen. Plan. Listen, if you go out and the forecast says sunny, but it's still a little cloudy, it does not hurt you to throw an umbrella in your car. It doesn't hurt you to throw an umbrella in the car, right? So I've always said, if the day is going to be warm, I'd rather throw a sweater on and take it off later than be cold in the morning and then just be with a t-shirt all day. So in other words, plan ahead, plan the worst case scenario and build from there. I always, when I go out, I have a little safety knife with me. I have a little pocket knife. I thank God, my uncle gave me this great Swiss Army knife. I keep it with me. Why? I never know if I'm going to break down in the middle of the road. I never know if the next zombie apocalypse is going to come. I'm just saying, I just want to be prepared, right? So I can MacGyver some things, put some gum, a little string, whatever, boom, create some C4. Hey, listen, no, don't do that. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is I want to be prepared for the worst case scenario. And that's what a leader does. A leader does not build from outside the door. No, they go down to the basement and they make sure that the foundation is great. And if case the foundation breaks, they have a plan B right there with them. If this foundation breaks, I know how to build it from the ground up. A leader is always looking, being observant, not just on how they can, for them to observe what's around them and what was built, but also how they can build it better. Not saying that they're arrogant, not saying that they're saying, I could do a better job, but you're always looking. I see how this person, this engineer, this architect, how they built this thing. Let me see how I can add to it, or let me see if it breaks, how I can build it. A leader is always a visionary, always looking forward, always looking to things that other people don't see. So that's why future is number 4, the fourth fundamental F in leadership, right? So faith, family, friends, future, and last but not least, you listen to this. This is a very, very important one. Without this one, then you're not really a leadership. All you're doing is just doing something that somebody else calls you to do, and you're not having joy. The fifth one, is fun. F-U-N. You have to have fun. I'm gonna give you the secret to every leadership, developmental, strategy, whatever you want to call it, any leadership system. I'm gonna give you the secret to it. You ready for this? I need to come close. The secret to every leadership development, every leadership strategy is this: you have to learn to have fun at what you do. Yeah, you gotta have fun at what you do. If what you're doing is not fun, then don't do it again, because it's going to become taskful. It's going to become burdensome. It's going to become something that you're just doing, whether it's for a paycheck, whether it's, to increase your finances, to increase your following, to increase your people, or just to get, that pat on the back. And what happens is that when you don't get that pat on the back, or that money, or the next client doesn't come through, you're going to get frustrated. But if what you're doing is fun, if you enjoy it, I don't care if you enjoy cooking, listen, then start a business cooking. If you enjoy running around, you remember Richard Simmons? I'm a pony, right? So listen, if you enjoy that, then that's what you do, because every leader wants to do what they enjoy and learn how to get compensated for it. That's everything we do. I love developing people. I love working with people. I love, encouraging people. I was once at a point in my life, where nobody encouraged me. And when I encouraged myself, when I came out of the depth of the pits of, disparity, now I learned, listen, I want to encourage everybody, because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. So I want to help everybody before they fall into that pit of disparity. So I enjoy what I'm doing, whether I get paid or not. But of course, logically, we all want to get paid for it. But listen, you can do what you enjoy doing. We live in an era now where everything can become a business. business. Information is a business. Development is a business. You crochet, you knit, whatever, that can become a business. That can become something that you enjoy doing, and you can get compensated for it. Let me tell you something. Enjoyment. The middle word there is joy. If you don't have joy at what you do, listen, chances are you're not gonna last long. Imagine joy as being the fuel that leads you. Jesus said this very one awesome statement. You know, actually he didn't say it, but an author said it in the book of Hebrews. He said that there was a joy in front of Jesus. The joy in front of Jesus was the people. And the people that he died for. That's why he bared the cross. That's why he did what he did. He served day and night. He knew that, listen, people was going to betray them. He knew that his own friends was going to deny him. He knew that nobody was going to be able to save him from that situation but God. But he continued. It said because of the joy that was set before him, with passion, he endures suffering. So guess what? Joy turns into passion if you develop it. You can have joy right now of doing what you're doing, but if you develop that joy, it matures into passion. And passion is something so awesome that can drive you through anything. Passion can drive you, to the depths of the earth, to the end, to the edge of the earth, doing what you're doing. Why? Because you have a passion at it. So fun is so important. It's a key F in the 5 fundamental F's of leadership. And that's something that you must have, my friend. If you're not doing anything and you're not having fun at it, listen, stop right now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sirens, stop it right now. If what you're doing is not fun, it's not fun for you, you're not making it fun for others, it's just becoming taskful, regimented, my friends, trust me, listen, I've been stressed out in jobs, in situations. I've done all kinds of network marketing businesses. And listen, if you're stressed out, if you're not happy, listen to me. Stop doing it. I don't care if it's bringing a big paycheck. Find a strategy where you can transition one to the other. Listen, call your boy. I'll help you transition. But if you're not having fun, then you're just going to be a grumpy old man, a grumpy old woman. At the end, nobody wants to work 30, 40 years, retire, and then say, you know what? I never really liked what I was doing. And you invested 30 years of your life not even having fun. You can have fun at what you're doing, all right? So listen to me. So very quickly, I want to recap. These are my 5 fundamental F's of leadership. And as we go through the week, listen, I got so much more on leadership. Oh my God, leadership is so awesome. I love it. But you have faith. You got to see it first. You have family. It's where leadership starts, right? You got friends, integrity, networking. This is, I want to say, leadership in public. Then you have future, always looking forward, and have fun, enjoyment. Joy matures to passion, right? Faith, family, friends, future, fun. Faith, family, friends, future, fun. These are my 5 fundamental F's of leadership. I hope that you enjoyed it. Listen, stay connected. You want more leadership, empowerment, advice, content, whatever it is, check out my Facebook page, Miguel Ramos business page right there. Listen, continue to follow me, Twitter, Instagram. I'm everywhere. YouTube, you missed this video, check me out later on YouTube, right? We're right there as well. But listen, thank you so much for your time. This is Miguel Ramos. Again, this is our empowerment moment, your motivational trainer, your empowerment coach. I am your transformational leader. So until we meet again, my friends, God bless.